Hello, everybody. Jenna Trudeau, your guys' health and hustle expert, mama mentor, coming on here today. It feels so good. I can't tell you guys enough how good it feels to be in my office recording this podcast for you guys to serve you along your journey. Now, it's been a couple months since I have done a podcast recording due to summer and just enjoying the summer with the kids. And to be quite honest with you, working through some things that I'm going to open up and share with you guys as I take the mask off in this episode. This is episode number 30, which is kind of ironic, but so meant to be because I actually just turned 30 this year. So it's kind of funny how this is episode number 30. And for the very first time in my life, I'm actually going to take this entire mask off that I have been wearing for the last 30 years, acting like everything's okay. I have it all together. And the truth is that I haven't. And so I want to share openly and vulnerably with you guys on this recording today. So, first of all, if you are listening to this and there are things that you take away that you're like, yes, 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 amen, then please screenshot this podcast. Tag me in your Instagram stories or tag me on Facebook, whatever type of social you've got. If you're on Facebook, it's Health and Hustle. If you're on Instagram, it's health.n.hustle. And I would love to just hear your takeaways. If there's something that resonates with you guys today, please message me. My inbox is always open. You can even email me at info@healthandhustle.ca. I love to hear from you guys because you're who I truly want to serve. And so if there's a specific topic or something that you're looking for, then just shoot me a message. I want to serve you. And that's what this platform is for. So, with that being said, I want to own that I have literally not recorded for the last 2 months. And that's okay because I'm going to come out bigger, better, stronger. There's a quote, and I want you guys to write this down. It says, wherever you go, there you are. So, if you're in an area right now, and you're working through something, or let's just say, for example, you have some emotions that come up, and then, maybe you move to a different place, you're moving to a new home, or you get a new job, or you start a new fitness program, or you start something, and then you get into that routine, you get into that new whatever it is, but then, oh, there you are again. Those same emotions are coming up. That's kind of what I want to talk to you guys a little bit about today because I have dealt with things over these last 2 months that I've really dove into that I've actually never really dealt with for the past 10 plus years. And so no matter what, wherever I went, no matter if we bought a new house or, we got married or we had kids, and you'd be like, hey, this is it. Life is a journey. It's not a destination. And we're here to learn, we're here to grow, and we're here to evolve. And if you're not growing, then I hate to say it, but we're dying. We're staying stuck where we are. And so it's important to grow and to lean into and to get uncomfortable and face your fears. And on the other side of fear is faith. So I want to share with you guys a little bit of where I was and kind of what this last 2 months has done. A lot of the ahas that I have really opened up to and started talking about. I just want to get vulnerable and real with you guys. And I want to take the mask off. And if you've been wearing a mask for quite some time and you are just feeling the anxiousness inside, you're feeling defeated, I want you to lean in and I want you to listen, or you're feeling stuck. I just want you to know I've been there. I completely understand how you feel. And I felt the same way. But what I found is that working through these and sharing some things that I'm going to share with you guys has helped me immensely. And I really, really want this part of this podcast to help you with going through whatever you're going through. So that's what I pray for in you listening to this today. So, where was I? So to be honest with you, I have always felt. So let me just actually backtrack this because I want to give you guys the behind the scenes of in my house and what's been really the actions I've taken. So it was about 2 months ago. I was just having all the self-doubt, all of the anxiousness. If you have had anxiety, which I know we can create a lot of our anxiety, the cluster of energy. For me, it's really below my boobs. And if you've had this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But for me, that would not go away. It didn't matter sometimes some of the things that I ate, it didn't matter some of the things that I removed. That was just there. And what I've learned in diving into what I've dove into these last 2 months is that I'm really in control of that. And that goes back to my mindset, my faith, and hitting the gym and just taking care of my health before I hustle. And I'll share with you guys that. But I kind of just hit a point where I had so much noise in my head, and I apologize if I get emotional. I mean, it's honestly, I'm not even going to apologize because this is me taking the mask off and being open and vulnerable. And I'm telling you guys, I have cried for the last 2 months, probably every single day. The last week and a half, I've been doing pretty good, but hey, tears is not a bad thing. I always thought tears made you weak. Tears made you, be super vulnerable. But honestly, the tears has been a very, very healing journey for me, as it allows me to just let out what I've held on to for so long. Um, so this was about 2 months ago, a month and a half, 2 months ago. I finally hit a freaking wall, and I had so much noise in my head. I had so much anxiety underneath my boobs, in my chest. And I honestly didn't even know what the answer was anymore. I was so frustrated. Um, and I just remember, everything set me off. If someone said something, if someone like said something the wrong way, or they said something that hurts my feelings, or someone had, made a comment about something, I would spiral, you guys. Like I would take it so personally, and I would like criticize myself. I'd be so hard on myself. My confidence would lower, and I was just not in a great spot. And I remember one day, it got to the point where it was really, really bad. And my husband's been a huge supporter along this journey. So bless his soul. Because he's been like the only person behind the scenes that I've really been able to just like let it all out. And that can be a lot for a husband sometimes. Especially if they don't really know what's going on. They haven't walked your path. But I have to say, my husband has been so supportive. And I remember there was a day that, like, we kind of had gotten into an argument because I was just kind of in my mindset, and I knew I needed to get out of it, but I also knew that I like really needed help. And so, he just came into the kitchen. I was looking down and I was crying, and he had said something and it set me off. And I just remember like turning around, and I walked up to him, and I just like shook him to death, like not like to death, but like I literally just shook him because I had so much like frustration and just like anxiousness inside me. And I stood there and I just shook him, and I was just like, I am not okay. Like there are days, Nolan, that I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be here. I don't even want to do this. But I would always have such a hard time with that when I would say to myself, I just don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be here because I put so much pressure on myself, which is a blessing and a curse, because it's a blessing in the fact that, if there's anything that I want and I put my mind to it, I'll just do it, honestly. Um, but it's a curse because I put so much pressure on myself that everything that I do sometimes I'm not always fulfilled. And so I just am left kind of feeling unfulfilled. And if you can resonate to that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's not like I came to the point where I really wanted to harm myself, but there was literally times that I thought I just don't want to be here. Like I don't even know what to do anymore. I had so much noise in my head that I just couldn't shut off. And when you have a lot of noise in your head, even though people say you're amazing, and even though people see the strength that you have or the confidence that you have, and you come on camera, or you come on, you go out to the public, and people just look at you and they're just like, wow, like you have it together. Like they just think you're amazing. I'm not saying that to toot my own horn or anything, but it's the honest truth. I would honestly have people around me just say these things, and I would literally just be looking at them being like, that's great that you see that, because I don't see that. And I feel like I'm lying to you right to your face, because the truth is inside I'm actually struggling. But I was never ready, or I've never been at the point where I've actually wanted to talk, share that, and tell people that, because I just kind of thought that it's just the way it goes. I don't know. That's why I've had to work so hard on my positive mindset. And I just thought, okay, I can get through this. Like I can do this myself. And the truth is that you can't do this yourself. I cannot do this myself. And that's probably the hardest lesson, but the most blissful lesson, if blissful is even a word, lesson that I've learned over these last 2 months is that I'm sorry, you guys, is that there's people that really care about you and that if you're feeling like I was, I'm gonna give you guys some tips and stuff like that, um, there's people that can help you. Um, okay, so going back to that, I shook my husband and I had said that to him. And it was honestly like the moment that I actually just like told him where I was and I told him I just feel like I just said to him, I feel like I always have it together and on the inside I just don't have it together. And I feel like, I have to show up and I have to do this. And, I've done this for a lot of my life, but I've actually never dealt with some of the internal stuff that's going on. And so as I opened up to my husband and I opened up to my mom and I opened up to others around me, it was honestly like one beautiful thing at a time, where um, I had so much pressure. So one of the biggest things that I would always think or that I would literally feel is I felt like I had a lot of pressure on my shoulders and I had a lot of pressure in my head. And so therefore I was just like spiralizing. Like I couldn't even think clear of like what I wanted, what like I couldn't think clear. It was so bad. But the night that I like really opened up of like where I was mentally, how I was feeling, how I would like just really all the thoughts that I had about myself. I remember that night after crying a lot, I had so much pressure in my head. I was blowing my nose constantly. I had a huge pounding headache and I woke up the next day and all that pressure was gone. And like that was literally my body's way of just being like, "Thank goodness you finally have let this out, Jenna. I've been trying to tell you." And that's like the anxiety part. And for those of you who have been following me, you've known that I have been leaning more and more into my faith and my relationship with God. And so, one of the girls that really sparked the interest in my faith in God, she had shared a scripture with me that it says like cast all your anxieties onto me. So I'm like, during this time I've been like, sitting there being like, okay, God, I'm casting all my anxieties onto you. Like, why isn't this going away? And why, like, here I'm praying and here I'm doing this, but I couldn't understand why it still wasn't gone. Where this whole time he just wanted me to like be open and be vulnerable and like share some of the things that have been actually going on. And so through that, I've been able to do some healing. So, if you're like me, step one, if you've been keeping so much stuff to yourself, I just want you to know that you don't have to do this alone and learn from my mistakes. Don't keep it to yourself because I have kept a lot to myself for a really long time. And it hasn't served me. And so, being able to be open and vulnerable has been more serving for me, but I also ask myself, who can I serve? Because if I'm someone who's a high achiever that feels this way at times, how many other high achievers are out there that honestly may achieve things, but you still feel unfulfilled? I think about Kate Spade, huge like a lady who just like built a legacy, and it's so sad, how mental health really got to her. And so, through my journey, I'm like, I'm sure there are other women out there that are high achievers that may have some really self-limiting beliefs about themselves that they've never actually opened up and shared about. And I want to help you remove that pressure by taking care of your health, obviously before you hustle, because that's really what I stand for. Um, and helping you get rid of that pressure and that anxiety and the things that you put onto yourself. Now, um, I heard one of the greatest quotes a month ago, and it was through a Tony Robbins event. And it said, "Success without fulfillment equals failure." And that hit me hard. Um, Because like I've said, there has been, and I'm not saying I am like the end all be all, putting myself on a pedestal. That's not what I'm saying here, but I anything that I've really put my mind to, I'm just like I'm a dreamer. I'm a visionary. I have a vision board. I just like love working towards things and I love a great challenge. And when I say anything I put my mind to and like cast the vision and wanted to attract more into my life, I it's literally come. However, when you're not fulfilled, that equals failure. Now, I know I'm blessed. God has given me such a beautiful life. I'm blessed for the life. I'm always thankful. But what my biggest struggle has been is that leaning into personal development for so long and without walking a journey with faith, I honestly would listen to things personal development wise and I cannot be I know that I'm not the only one that felt this way in saying this. Now I am overcome this. I am like far beyond this. I'm like, okay, this makes total sense. But let me ask you, when you listen to a personal development or, mindset training on something, do you get off the podcast or get off the call thinking, wow, there is so much wrong with me. I've got to fix it. Or, wow, this part of my life I need to improve on. And you literally lower your worth. And you think there's so many things about yourself that you've got to change, that you've got to fix, and that you've got to be perfect. Well, for me, that was me. I would listen to things and I'm just like, oh my God, now I got to improve on this and this and this. So I'm constantly comparing myself, but I'm also so hard on myself. And so I'm not fulfilled. But here is something that I took away that I will literally share with everyone for the rest of my life. To have fulfillment in your life, you've got to love yourself enough to allow yourself to grow. So there's two ways that allows you to have fulfillment in your life, okay? The two ways is through growth and contribution. I don't know about you, but when you are, say, growing and you're evolving, because like I said at the beginning of the podcast, if you're not growing, you're dying. If you're growing and you're evolving, then you are you're expanding yourself, right? And so instead of growing and thinking, oh, I have to change this and I've got to change this and I'm not perfect at this and da 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 da, I now say to myself, and I encourage you to, I love myself enough right now. God made me who I am. He's loved me this whole time. I love myself exactly how I am right now. I just have to pause for a second because that's something that I've been really, really working on over these past 2 months. I have loved on so many people. I always see people's values. I think that's why I've been such a passionate leader for other people because I see so many people's potential and I want people to win, but often I haven't actually allowed myself to see my worth and to love myself. And so I love myself enough to allow myself to grow, meaning you're perfect just the way you are right now. You're exactly where you're meant to be. Everything that's going on right now is totally where you are supposed to be. Nothing else is supposed to be changed. There's lessons for you to learn. And so I love myself enough to allow myself to grow. Love yourself enough right now, but know that you are allowed to grow. But knowing that you're perfect just the way that you are right now, but there's always more that you can learn and grow into. And that was a huge aha moment for me in my journey, realizing I am perfect, exactly who I am right now, but I also want to grow. And I know that will take time and I know that will happen on its own divine time, but right now I still love myself. Okay. So shifting my mindset to that made a huge difference. So fulfillment through growth allows you to have, when you're growing, you're going to have fulfillment as you're seeing yourself grow and progress. If we're not growing, we're dying. Okay. The second part of fulfillment is contribution. Now, I love helping people. I love helping people move their business forward. I love helping people win. We're helping a lot of families win. But contribution in helping others win, donating your time, say, to the food bank and, contributing to other families, donating your time to, I don't know, if you want to go help the schools because you love it, not expecting anything in return. It's just contribution, contributing money towards a cause, whatever that is. I don't know about you, but I feel so much more fulfilled when I am helping others and contributing to others. So, in order to get fulfillment, it's through those two things, growth and contribution. So those are two areas that I am 100% working on, because success without fulfillment equals failure. You can have all the success you want in this world, but if you ain't fulfilled, girl, you are failing. And I felt that way. And so those are two areas that I am 100% focused on and growing on as I continue to be fulfilled. Now, I'm not saying I've never, ever, ever felt fulfilled and I've never been happy. That's not what I'm saying, but it can go up and down, right? But I am super grateful for where we're at right now. So, that's one thing that I want to share with you guys. Okay. Um, okay. Now I'm just like spiralizing, but I honestly didn't really plan too much before I came on here. I just kind of wrote down a couple of notes. And I just wanted to come on here. So, another thing I want to talk to you guys about, something that I've actually never talked about. So there's two things. Um, One, I just don't think I'm ready. Like I honestly don't think I'm fully ready to even admit it or talk about it. And that will come with time. And I'm just giving myself grace to work through the things. And so if you're in a place right now and you are working through things, all that I can say is like, give yourself grace. I remember calling my friend one day who really planted the seed of faith into me, and I had said, "Okay, it's been a year and a half on this faith journey." And I said, "I have literally given my world to God. I got 2 Bibles." I was like, "I read the Bibles. I actually don't even know what I'm reading half the time." I said, "I've been going to church. I've seen a lot of value there, but I'm like, I just don't understand. Like, I'm still not like I'm still struggling because I'm praying, I'm asking, I'm doing all the things that, I feel is the right thing to do, but am I missing something?" And so she had said to me, "Jenna, how did you get really good at how did you learn about nutrition? Like what made you become, a health and hustle expert mama mentor? What made you really dive into your fitness and learn how to teach fitness classes?" I was like, "Well, I studied it. I went to school, I studied it. Like, it's been something that I do pretty much every single week." She's like, "Exactly. It's no different. Your faith is no different. And so it will become an effortless change if you're willing to give it time and you're willing to invest time into it." And so that's something that I got off that call and I was like, okay, so don't just go to church or just read the Bible to read the Bible. Find someone that can literally dummy proof it for me so that I'm starting to understand it more, what the scripture's saying. Um, and so, um, yeah, I can't remember where I was going with that, but that just came off my tongue. So one of the things though that I've never actually talked about. So I won't even say so okay. One of the things, okay, so two things. I'll talk about two things right now that I've held back, and as more comes, I'll share more with you guys. So there's two incidents. So number one incident, I remember in high school, and this is where I lost a lot of worth in standing up for myself. If you're a people pleaser, you could probably relate to this. I have been, off and on a people pleaser my whole life, and that's something that I ain't doing anymore. I just am done always trying to please people and leaving myself last. Like it's just like empty sometimes, right? You've got to fill up your cup. You can never serve from an empty cup. And if you're always just trying to please people, you're just going to go in circles. So learn from my mistakes. But I remember a lot of my worth and losing my worth and not really being true to my word and um not yeah. Just really losing my worth kind of went down to one of these to this incident. Now, I remember being a teenager. I think I was like honestly 18 or 19 years old. Went out with some friends that night and one of my friends had made a drink. I'll never ever say names. Like you guys, I don't hold grudges. We're all teenagers. We all go through times. We're all young. I have no judgment. I'm sure we all have done things that we're not proud of. And if you're like, "Oh, I've never done anything I'm not proud of," I'm sure you have, because I kind of thought the same thing. I'm like, "No, I'm all is good." Like, stop trying to, keep the mask on and act like, we're all perfect, because we're not. We've all sinned. We've all had our times. And so I think I was like 18 or 19 years old, went to a friend's house. We went out that night. One of my friends had made a drink, drank the drink, went to the bar, and I do not like rave music whatsoever, but I was just dancing away. I was dancing away. I felt the rhythm, I felt the music, it felt amazing. Went to the bathroom, and one of my friends were like, "How do you feel?" And I was like, "I feel amazing. Like, I don't love this music. I don't know what I drank, but like that was a really great drink." Long story short, my so-called friends ended up putting something in my drink, and in the moment, I was like, "It's all good. It's all good." And I had a great night. It was probably, considered one of the highest nights of your life. Am I proud of it? Hell no. I'm here to say no. I am not proud of it at all. But what I'm the most not proud of is that the next day, instead of standing up for myself, and a week later, still not standing up for myself because um I didn't have the willpower to. Um, I lost a lot of my worth. I lost a lot of my self-worth. I became a people pleaser as of that day. And I'm sorry, you guys, I'm kind of struggling talking about this, especially when you're like, that people are going to be listening. It's just, I don't know. It's hard for me to share because I don't want these people to think that I'm bringing them down and that I hold anything. Hell no, I don't. Like I said, we've all been young. We've all been there. What's most important that I want you to hear through the story is what I created from this story. I lost my worth that day. I had the opportunity to stand up for myself. I had, you know, the chance to literally just be honest and know and say, "Hey, that is not cool," especially for someone who maybe has an addictive personality, right? Um and we go through things that allows us to just kind of realize what we want and what we don't want, and obviously things like that I definitely didn't want. But what I want you guys to hear from the story is that I lost a lot of my worth that day, and that is something that I've held on to for a really long time that I really didn't really think bothered me, but it actually really did. Something so big or so small really did bother me. Another thing that I've actually never really shared about either. So, kind of shortly after this incident, and just like some things that kind of had happened, um, I have, because I've had such a not so great image of myself at times, which I know may be hard to believe sometimes, because on the outside it could look like I just again have it all together and I feel great and I look great and I'm happy and all those things, and I am. But there's those self-limiting beliefs about myself that I really held on to. Now, when I was in my early 20s, um I had a terrible relationship with food. And this is what led me to learning more about holistic nutrition, and learning more about health and wellness, and learning more about how to take care of my health before I hustled, because I had a bad relationship with food, to the point where I would eat and I would make myself get sick. I would eat and I would make myself get sick. I didn't see my worth because I lost my worth to myself. I feel like from that night actually really caused some really terrible things. It made me super depressed. I had the highest high of my life and then the lowest low of my life. And I'm not going to lie, that was really, really hard. And so, um, some things that kind of led up to that. I had an eating disorder where I would make myself eat and then I would get sick because I was worried that I was going to gain weight, or I was worried that, just some numerous things. So I did a ton of damage to my digestion system, but I also just didn't really love who I was. And so um flash forward to then having kids, that's really when I started really taking even more care of my health, or yeah, care of my health. And I really started to love myself a little bit more. But now I'm 30 and I am learning to like love myself even more and more and more, and know that I'm perfect, like just the way that I am, and know that we all make mistakes. We all have things that we're not proud of. But that does not define who you are. It actually shapes who you are. And so um, all I want to say is that the truth will set you free. And so during this journey of just learning some of the things that I thought defined me in my past, being able to speak vulnerably about them and allow myself to lean in and share it has been so freeing and has allowed me to set myself free. And I saw something on Instagram the other day. Someone had shared it. It was like all the struggles that you feel right now, or the self-limiting beliefs, the things that you're going through, especially if you have kids, if you don't go through them, they'll have to go through those pains and those struggles. So I want to I want to show my girls, like my kids are like one of my biggest motivators. I'm so blessed to have had Aria, my daughter, when I did. We weren't planning to have a daughter that soon, but she came into our life exactly as planned. In the moments, I had no idea. I was 23 years old when I had her. And I really didn't have a whole lot of people around me that had babies, but it just forced me to really grow the heck up. It forced me to become mature. She forced me to have it all together. And she was like literally meant to come into my life, and I see that now. And I just really, my girls really inspire me every single day because I want to be that mom that shows them what self-love looks like and self-confidence, because I envision raising strong, independent women, because that is a huge part of them growing up, right? I don't want them to feel weak or unworthy, or not love themselves for who they are, have body image or anything like that. I want to work through this so that they can have that beautiful life on the other side. Now, I know I kind of am rambling here and literally just went off, chatting with you guys. I'm just going to kind of look at my notes here to keep me back on track. But where am I now? So right now, I'm just giving myself grace. Honestly, for the first time in a lot of my career, I've worked for myself for the past 10, well, it'll be, yeah, 10, just about 10 years. I'm actually, for the first time in my life, just giving myself grace for where I'm at, allowing myself to work through many, many things that are coming up and just letting them be, but just knowing that they're not defining me. And through that, I am leaning a lot into my faith and opening up to people and having conversations and helping other women, and opening up. I just people that I can trust, that I know, like, and trust. And there's a scripture, it says Matthew 18:20. I think it's 18:20, but it says, "For there were two or three gathered in my name, there I am among them." Meaning, if you're going through some things that are really holding you back, aka you don't know your worth, aka you feel insecure, aka you're working through, like, maybe you're just having a hard time like I did, and even going around and being and seeing people, like, truthfully, I was losing myself so much that, like, I'm like a people person. I actually really like to be around people, but I'm also very introverted. I'm totally okay with just being by myself and with my thoughts. And when you are an introverted person, um, again, it can be a blessing and a curse. A blessing because, like, I don't really need anyone to come and motivate me and tell me to do things. I'm pretty self motivated, but it can also be a curse because I just feel like I can just do it by myself and I got this. And so, what that means is, as you're able to find a community that you can be open with and vulnerable, he's there among you. And so he can help do the healing with you during that time. And I know for me, in opening up to a handful of people for the very first time, has been very freeing. And the pressure that I have felt has lifted off my shoulders. I just feel like every day, every month, a new brick is just lifted off. I'm like, okay, it's like all that pressure and tension, minus my shoulders right now being tight because I just started a 16-week fitness program. I'm definitely sore right now. But in taking each and every single weight off, I'm like, I just feel lighter. The anxiousness within my chest is gone. Like, I don't feel it as much as I have. I've done some, I think it's called accelerated resolution therapy with one of my therapists. She just kind of helped me do this. It's called ART. I think it's ART. And it's actually really cool. And since seeing her, I actually haven't had this like really super strong anxious feeling right there. And so I really give that to the work that's been done, and also just leaning into my faith and literally casting anxieties and having this effortless change starting to really evolve and happen within. And I'm really starting to see that change. So wherever you're at, I just want you to know that I'm here. I see you. I may not hear some of the struggles that you're facing right now, but all that I want to say is just find the people that you can lean onto, speak vulnerably with, and just know that there are people that really, really, really care for you and really want you to win. And you don't have to do this alone. Like 100%, you do not have to do this alone. And that is why I'm such a firm believer in health before hustle. Now, throughout all this, I've still continued to take care of my health before I hustled. But more than ever, I've taken care of my health way more than I have my entire life over these last 2 or 3 months because I've just given myself grace. But that health before you hustle could be going to the gym. It could be, journaling. It could be talking to a friend. It could be, whatever, going out for a walk, listening to uplifting music, whatever that is. But just please do not forget to take care of your health before you hustle. It breaks my heart so much that when people, we take our health for granted. I'm reading the book called The Magic right now. It's through The Secret. And one of the daily activities was about your health, and our health is wealth, you guys. And often when, say, you get sick, right? When you're sick, you're like, oh, I just want to feel better. Or when you have an autoimmune disorder or disease, or you have, the C word or something, then people start taking care of your health. But why not take care of your health when you feel amazing? Because often we can take our health for granted. So I have a little note on my wall right there. It says the gift of my health keeps me alive. When I'm journaling in the mornings, I say the gift of my health keeps me alive. Any paychecks that I get and any income that comes into my bank account, I say I'm so happy and grateful for this abundance of money that comes to me. Whether it's a small check or a big check, I tell my team this all the time because we're helping people. It's like whether it's a small check or a big check, do not compare yourself to anyone ever. Know your worth, know that you're amazing exactly how you are, but be grateful for the money that you are getting, because if you don't have gratitude, you're not going to be able to bring in an abundance of it towards you. So gratitude is so, so, so important. You can't have gratitude and fear at the same time. So practicing your gratitude, practicing my gratitude over these past couple months has been like enormously helpful during this journey as well. And just waking up every day and literally thinking of things that I am grateful for, because we are all blessed. I am sure that you can find something today that you are beyond grateful for. And I want you to just right now think to yourself, what are 5 things that you're grateful for? I am so grateful for like being able to work from home and this opportunity that I have. I am so beyond grateful for my children and being able to show up as this mom for them. I'm so grateful for this house that's over my head. I'm so grateful that I have access to water at any time so I can keep myself fueled and hydrated. I am so grateful for, an abundance of money that flows to us. I'm so grateful to have family near. Like, great gratitude is so important. That's something that we really, really can miss sometimes. So, before I go on a ramble, because you all know that, I just want you to know that I am back. I am here. The podcasts are going to be coming in hot. If there's a specific topic that you would love to like ask me a question, or a specific topic that you're like, I wonder what Jenna would say about this, then just shoot me a message. Go on Instagram, health.n.hustle, or shoot me an email, info@healthandhustle.ca. I'd love to hear from you. Like, honestly, don't hold back. When I literally like see someone winning, or I honestly like hear someone's podcast, I'm like, I just want to message them and be like, thank you. because it allows them to know that they have served me. There are so many women that I look up to that have served me every single day. And without their guidance, I 1000% would not be who I am today. And so we're all here to be able to help one another's. And all that I want to say is just that pain that you may be going through right now, change it. And just know that that pain that you're going through, you're going to serve so many people because they are going to be able to relate to you. And as you take that mask off, you'll know and you'll see that there are so many people that you can help. And so lean into that unique ability, lean into that pain, lean into your faith, and just know that there is brightness on the other side of that. Where there's darkness, there is light. And so let that light completely shine in and shine through to other people. Now, with that being said, if you guys enjoyed today's podcast, genuinely, screenshot episode 30, go over to Instagram or Facebook, tag me, let me know that you loved this episode, share it with a friend. If you have a friend that is going through something maybe similar to some of the things and topics that I had literally just said, share this episode with them, my friend. Share the episode with them. And shoot me a message. All right. So like, share, do all the things. Would love to hear from you guys. With that being said, please don't forget to take care of your health before you hustle. I know what it's like to be a mom and work from home and try to do all the things, but health is wealth. Prioritize your health and stay tuned for more tips coming your guys' way, especially some meal prep. So go to my Instagram if you're looking for some meal prep tips. With that being said, have a blessed day. Don't forget to take care of your health before you hustle. Goodbye, everybody.